Hello, I'm Maury with XDynamics, and today I'd like to take you a little bit deeper into the Evolve 2 user interface and how it can assist you with video and still image composition. In this video, I want to tell you a little bit about why we chose the guides we did and how they may benefit you as a filmmaker and a photographer. Let's start with the foundation of composition, the rule of thirds. A frame divided equally by 3 horizontal and vertical lines, creating a nice balanced image. What you're seeing here is a study that was done comparing rectangles. They asked hundreds of people, what rectangle do you find most pleasing? Which shape is the most pleasing of the bunch? Well, which one do you think? And the answer is, overwhelmingly, the 5 to 8 rectangle was chosen. What this study inferred is that beauty is not completely subjective. We're tuned to gravitate towards certain shapes and patterns, and they're found consistently in nature and utilized by masters of cinematography, photography, fine art, and architecture. What's also interesting about the 5-8 ratio is that it's 2 consecutive numbers in the Fibonacci sequence. Here's an image of that same rectangle on its side. And if we follow the Fibonacci sequence, we see 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and there's your 5 to 8 ratio. This particular shape can be infinitely nested or built out and multiplied. If we take a look at the curve in each of these squares, we see a spiral develop. The spiral is the most common shape found in nature. You've seen it in galaxies, pine cones, storms, flowers, plants, and the nautilus shell. What you find is, especially in the arrangement of these florets within the flower, you can count the curves radiating around the center. There are 13 curves, and 13 is a number in the Fibonacci sequence. Some other places we've seen the Fibonacci sequence, the Eiffel Tower, Mona Lisa, and even the Parthenon. How can we use this balance or harmony to benefit us as it relates to composition? One way is to create the phi grid. We start with the golden rectangle, built based on the Fibonacci sequence. We draw out dotted lines here, flip the image, and continue extending lines, and here we are. A phi grid. The phi grid is in cyan, the rule of thirds, magenta. Let's look at an example of a composition using both of these methods. Because of the arrangement of the horizontal lines in the phi grid, we get more room at the bottom of the image under the horizon. For this image in particular, I think using the phi grid gives a better composition. You read more of the boat, and the sky doesn't overtake the image. Within the Evolve 2 user interface, what we've done is taken that phi grid and golden ratio and exhausted as many possibilities as we could, currently over 20, to be used by you as a starting off point for a slightly different perspective as it relates to your composition. If you come across a scene and maybe you're just not quite sure how you want to frame it up, you can scroll through these guides and find some leading lines that match up and closely rough it in. Thank you very much for your time today, and we look forward to seeing you again for our next feature video with the Evolve 2.